তোমার major life decisions to even taking on teaching as a career, যে তোমাকে এটা শেখাতে হবে, also somewhere came from Jayshree ma'am.
Oh yes.
So তোমার ওদের সাথে জার্নিটা and it's a complete journey in the truest sense of the term. How do you reflect on it? What parts of it have you kept with you? What parts of it have you just ছেড়ে দিয়েছো?
It's a longish kind of explanation. But do we have time? See, I met Gyan and Jayshree in 1981. And before that, just informally, because we were playing a contest. And they were also young. And Kochu and we had a band called Moonbeams. And the third guy was a guy called Kevin David. So we had a band and we wrote originals and we played and we got booed off stage completely. And we were class 8 or something like that. And Gyan and Jayshree and the other bands, they were like, they used to be, they had a band called Sugarfoot and other bands, they sounded like great, I mean, so what the hell, and that's where we met, like hi-bye kind of, but we really met them through another friend called Gary Martin in 1981 or so, and then they came to our concert the next year, and then they came and they said, they called me and they said, would you like to play with the band? I said, wow, I've got that seat, and I knew I was not ready to play with them. Because I've only seen them in Jay's and Junior Statesman magazines and pictures and singer-songwriter.
Wow, you were intimidated at one point.
Yeah.
আমি কি বাতে পারবো? Wow, শুনেও খুব humbling লাগছে জানো তো এটা.
Yeah, and then they called me and I couldn't remember nothing. I couldn't remember even a note. But Jayshree said, I remember, you just played a concert yesterday. Do you remember anything? No. I was blank in front of them. And they were sitting with the mic and a bass player and guitar player. Then I remember I used to play a Larry Coryell kind of a piece, and then which I learned. So I played the D major 7th kind of E minor something, and then played the jam. We had a jam, and then we came home, and then the phone rang after 2 days. We would like you to join the band. So see, that's the musician. I was completely nervous and I couldn't play nothing. But they saw through that and they saw the potential.
And they saw the vibe.
And they said, okay, no, you can still join the band. And we were playing pop. And then that's where I learned. Before that I was playing these huge solos and step on the gas and play and rock and roll stuff. But then I learned how to play a solo in a 3-minute song. And you have to say
Ali's গানে তো solo থাকেও না.
No, that time the band called Airwave.
আচ্ছা.
So and this is not, I'm talking about 1981 or 82.
Airwave.
Airwave, and then I said okay, and then Jayshree one day sat me down and like gave me coffee like this in the Lansdowne Winter Park house, and she said in a song, how many solos do you have? She played about 10 or 15 songs because we were supposed to do them. Some songs had a solo, guitar solo, no, some didn't have. But she said, all the songs have a rhythm guitar behind it. Did you know it? I said, yeah. He said, how much do you practice that? That opened my eyes. Not that I didn't, I practiced, I used to practice rhythm guitar. But guitar players, I want to play solo and grandstand and hogging the show. So that opened my eyes. And I still tell my students, you might not have to play a solo in the song, but you got to play rhythm guitar right through the song.
There's something that I'm getting through this, Probably, I don't know. Yeah. Maybe Jayshree ma'am was not as learned a musician as you are. Probably. But the fact is, এই যে তোমাকে ইনফ্লুয়েন্স করাটা, যে somebody who talks non-technical and still has such a crazy influence on you.
Of course.
এইটা প্রচন্ড দরকার. So it's not like you have to be ওই রকম ভাবে শিক্ষিত to go up to another শিক্ষিত person and give him advice.
Absolutely.
এটা তো তোমার জীবনটাকে পুরো চেঞ্জ করে দিবে.
Right. Of course.
How did Skinny Ali happen?
Then
why Skinny Ali?
Skinny Ali, there's again a funny story. In the new house in Baligansak Road, there's a little place outside between the bedroom, the music room, and the kitchen. There's a little alley there. So we used to stand there and have a coffee and, just hang out before we go into the... And then...
তোমরা কি ফ্যান্সের ভিডিওটা এই গলিটাতে শুট করেছিলে?
No, fence was on the streets. But I'm talking about in the house.
Oh, in the house-এর ভেতরে?
Yeah, there's a little corridor. A little passage. Small, you've been there.
Yes.
So we would stand and hang out, and Jayshree and I very often would meet up very early in the afternoon and have coffee and chat and write tunes in the kitchen. Many tunes we write. I've just taken the guitar and I sat on the kitchen station and played a couple chords, and she was making coffee like that and just sang some lyrics, and we got a song in the evening. We go to the band and just play it and record it. It's very often. I think how can I on Escape the Roar is one of those songs.
Yes.
Just one time it just happened.
Escape the Roar is an amazing song.
Yeah. So that kind of thing. So that's how. But Jayshree is not maybe technically that time educated like chords and blah blah blah, but life. Like I'm saying, it's life. It's a reflection of life, no? So she opened my eyes up, like play rhythm guitar. And Gyan was a tremendous guitar player, rhythm guitar player, like a pop rhythm guitar. But people might think, oh, see, there Amyt is saying without the theory also you can play. No, but to be able to actually execute it, you got to kind of then dissect it.
আমরা কিন্তু এটাকে অলরেডি ভেবে নিচ্ছি যে তুমি যদি মিউজিকের কথা বলছো, কোন জায়গাটায় তুমি থিওরিটাকে ডিসরিগার্ড করছো না, কারণ কি ওটাই তোমার ড্রাইভিং ফোর্স, এবং তোমার সাথে যারা কাজ করছে তাদেরকেও কোনো না কোনো ভাবে ওই জায়গাটায় যেতে হবে। যেখানে আমরা জাইভারকেও দেখেছি as an incredible drummer, মানে and also again a very original drummer.
Absolutely.
Does not sound like other drummers. এবং কোনো একটা জায়গায় তো তোমাদেরকে দেখে বড় হয়েছে, তোমাদের সাথে বড় হয়েছে, যেখানে ও এখন তোমার সাথে বাজাচ্ছে।
Yes, in fact he tells me what to do sometimes.
How does that feel?
I feel great, and I'm very open. I tell you something, if you tell me that he called me and he said, what, I'm doing very well in life, I got a Merc, now I own a Merc. It's good for you, I'll say. But if you tell me I got to found a new chord that no one has played, I will come to your place 3 a.m. and tell me, show me that chord.
কি করেছিস দেখা।
So I get a kick out of that.
আর এই সেন্স অফ ডিসকভারিটা তো কোনোদিন যাবে না, because somebody somewhere is going to find that chord who knows you. তো এই সেন্স অফ মানে Mercedes-টা তো again মানে ওটা
it's a great thing. I would like to have that one, but it comes and goes. But
you would like to have that so that you can travel at 3 a.m. and go and find that
in a Merc.
Your Merc is chichol. Let's celebrate. Acha, D trio. Is it just because Datta, the rite of passage?
Yes.
আর কোনো কারণ নেই?
No, I just started. I think it was my idea. It's just D trio.
And that's it.
Yeah, that's it.
This is the shortest question possible. And you just said yes because of that.
Yeah, and I think, if I'm not mistaken, it was my idea. We are Dattas or Doctors. Let's go as D trio. But sometimes they want to play acoustic, and they want acoustic and sit down and that. So we travels very often. I think Scandinavia was just D trio, just 3 acoustic.
এবং ওই একটাই যে আমরা দত্ত, চলো let's make music.
Yeah. No, we used to play
before. এটা খুব মজার।
But we used to play before, but this particular just 3 people kind of thing. This
is something that you perceived and made.
Not me, I mean together.
সবাই মিলে। তুমি obviously কেন বলবে নিজে? তুমি অরিন্দম এটা জিজ্ঞেস করছো। অরিন্দমকে What Escapes বলে একটা ব্যান্ডের গিটার প্লেয়ার, হি ডাজ ভিজুয়ালস, ইজ আ ভিজুয়াল জকি। Yes, he plays with Samvit. ও তোমাকে জিজ্ঞেস করেছে যে এবং এটা অলসো আদিল জিজ্ঞেস করেছে। ওকে, যে তুমি একবার আদিলকে বলেছিলে যে you look at music very visually. You can see music, right? When you are composing something, তুমি কি দেখতে পাও এবং তুমি মিউজিককে ভিজুয়ালি দেখা বলতে কি বোঝাও?
There are, again, a couple of ways you can look at. There must be more, I'm sure. Like, if you write a few notes, you can actually see them going up, down, stopping, going up, come down, and you can play around with them. You just play a little game. I want that to go up. Let's go up. I want that to stop, and then restart again after a few bars. You could do that also. And by creating that game and that accidental situation, you can come up with out-of-the-box thoughts which was not conventionally from your mind. The other one is look at a visual place like this place or some other place. It doesn't necessarily beautiful, a mountain or a sea. It could be a broken, dilapidated factory or a rail track, rusty edges. They give you ideas. How do you express that feeling through instrumental music? Here, I can't say that place is rusty, that place is old, that place is broken. No. How do you? So now you got to learn the language. That's what I'm saying. That language sometimes goes beyond words. That's the art of learning. That's why we need to dedicate our whole life without expecting any results. That's a commitment that has no answer.
তুমি খুব শক্ত একটা কথা খুব সিম্পলি ভাবে বলছো যে উইদাউট এক্সপেক্টিং এনি রেজাল্টস ইউ হ্যাভ টু লার্ন দ্য ল্যাঙ্গুয়েজ উইদাউট এক্সপেকটেশনস। এবারে তোমার কাছে তো অনেক রকমের স্টুডেন্ট আছে, সো তোমার স্টুডেন্টদেরকে তুমি তোমার একটা ইন্টারভিউতে বলেছো যে ফিগার আউট হাউ ইউল ডু মিউজিক, ইফ ইউ ওয়ান্ট টু ডু মিউজিক ইউ ক্যান ফাইন্ড আ ওয়ে টু ডু মিউজিক। তোমার জীবনে প্রচুর ব্যান্ড, মাঝখানে তুমি এবং কোনো একটা জায়গায় তুমি নিজেকে না ব্যান্ডগুলোর সাথে মিশিয়ে নয়, এরকম না যে তুমি স্পটলাইট, একদম নয়। তুমি দইদার সাথে বাজিয়েছো, সম্বিতের সাথে বাজিয়েছো, আকাশের সাথে বাজাচ্ছ ইন মাল্টিপল তার সাথে তুমি জয়শ্রী ম্যামের সাথে বাজিয়েছো, জ্ঞান স্যারের সাথে বাজিয়েছো, প্রচুর লোকজনের সাথে বাজিয়েছো। হাউ ডু ইউ, এটা আদিলের প্রশ্ন, and I think it stems from the fact that we have been a band for the last 18 years, Shorish, Adil and myself.
Fantastic.
How do you find the right people to play with? যেখানে লোকজন ব্যান্ড খুঁজেই পাচ্ছে না, তুমি এখানে ব্যান্ড বানিয়েই যাচ্ছ।
You know, it's almost like production. It's like producing. Like I tell you something about Akash, bass player. I did a workshop at Lake Gardens. They used to have a little like a school.
Yes.
So I did a workshop and I saw this boy playing bass, and I liked his body language.
That's it.
Yeah. And I knew I'm not going to talk to him now, but I'm going to give him 2 years, at least a couple of years. And then I liked his kind of pocket and his body posture as a bass player and the firmness, confidence. There, he was very young and still young. And then I asked him after 2 years that come and, you know. Then he came and that was.
তুমি বললে বোধহয় কেউ না বলেন, কেউ না বলেছে তোমাকে না আমি তোমার সাথে বাজাবো না, এরকম বলেছে কেউ? You are in a position of a leader always, even if you are not authoritative. তোমার মিউজিকটা গাইড করে the band, the people, and it sorts of acts as the gel. তো তোমার মানে how did you become this articulate to command this kind of leadership? কারণ কি তুমি যে কথাগুলো বলছো সেই কথাগুলো খুব ডিফিকাল্ট এবং তুমি ভাষা ছাড়া কথা বলো, মিউজিক দিয়ে কথা বলো। তো এইখানে একটা আকাশকে এনে ওর এক্সটেনশনটাকে ড্র করে তোমার জিনিসটার সাথে অ্যামালগামেট করে, বা সম্বিতকে এনে বা দইদাকে এনে বা অরিঞ্জয়কে এনে তুমি এই জিনিসটাকে হাউ ডিড ইউ গেট দিস আর্টিকুলেট অ্যাবাউট just showing other people your music?
Firstly, the ease of the language that I not at its fullest, but at least jotota ami perechi to explain them. This is what I want, but at the same time, like for example, Orange Joy, he plays blues, but it's a complete idea of if I wanted to tell him, Orange Joy, bring your nylon string guitar, I want you to play like a classical guitar player. He'll completely get it.
Yeah.
Because that understanding he has, and he's trained himself as a classical guitar player. So this house production, you choose those people to fit into your.
But how do you choose those people?
You can see that.
It is just experience.
It's just experience, and it's one needs to be silent, especially now, for 15 minutes at least on its own without the phone, without no people, nobody. At least 15 minutes on your own. Just be silent.
Just exist.
Just exist.
And experience.
Just be. And that silence will. Lot of worthy questions and answers will enter your thoughts in that silence. Because there's no silent. Just looking at it, your senses are overload of sensory overload, man.
You speak in silence.
I mean, it gotta be. Silence is. See, when you play a note, soon after that, there's a silence. Only then the next note will appear.
Oof.
I mean, these are simple ideas. I don't know why people don't really consider these ideas. And then only you'll find yourself who you are really, who you want to be. You know,
there's a reason why I wanted to do this interview, Amyt. I saw তোমার ব্যাপারে ইউটিউবে অ্যাটলিস্ট 4টে 5টা 6টা ডকুমেন্টারি আছে. I believe nobody, I don't know whether I am being able to do it or rather Bongmade and you together. প্রত্যেকটা documentary has made you a little more of a complex human being to people than the other. They have spoken about the difficulty of your music. এইখানে এসে the first time I'm seeing how simple it is.
It is.
যে কতটা সোজা, যে ইউ নো হোয়াট, আমি মিউজিকটা বাজাচ্ছি, তোমার আমার থেকে যেটা নেওয়ার সেটা নাও, সেই ক্যাপাসিটিটা থাকা উচিত। তুমি যদি আমার মিউজিকটা বাজাতে চাও তাহলে সেটার জন্য তোমাকে শিখতে হবে, কিন্তু নইলে কিন্তু ব্যাপারটা খুব সোজা। আচ্ছা, ওয়ার্ডসওয়ার্থের একটা কবিতা আছে, ঠিক আছে, সে টিন্টার ন্যাবে বলে, সে টিন্টার ন্যাবেতে ওয়ার্ডসওয়ার্থ বেসিক্যালি বলছে, খুব তাড়াতাড়ি বলছি, যে ও একটা জায়গায় গেছিল, সেই জায়গায় গিয়ে যখন ফেরত যায় তখন ও ভাবে যে জায়গাটা বদলে গেছে, রাইট, কিন্তু তারপরেও রিয়েলাইজ করে যে ও নিজেই বদলে গেছে, জায়গাটা একই আছে, ঠিক আছে। তো তোমার জার্নি থ্রু দ্য ইয়ার্স অ্যাজ ইউ আর গোয়িং থ্রু মিউজিক, তোমার লেন্সিং দিয়ে যদি আমি কলকাতাকে দেখি, আই সি আ ভেরি ভেরি রিয়েল কলকাতা, ইন দ্য সেন্স দ্যাট নোংরা আছে, আবার ভালোবাসাও আছে, আবার লোকগুলো খুব ভালো, কিন্তু বাড়ি ঘরদোরগুলো ছোট হয়ে গেছে। তো এই যে এই গল্প বলাটা, বা এই যে তোমার মিউজিকের মধ্যে একটা ইনহেরেন্ট ইন্ডিয়াননেস উইদাউট গোয়িং কমপ্লিটলি ক্লাসিক্যাল ইন দ্য গিটার, এইটা তুমি ইনকর্পোরেট করেছো কি করে?
ওকে, now here you got to be a little bit of philosophically, emotionally and technically get into the nut bolts of stuff.
তো একটু ঢুকে গিয়ে বলো না।
See, I believe in that like molecular mix, you know.
Molecular mix?
Yeah, meaning if you mix 2 or 3 things together, see, this is hot water and coffee. Eventually it's just coffee.
Okay, yeah.
So you cannot still taste 2 things separately, the water taste and the coffee taste. It's just so now the third solution has to come in its own original voice.
So you're saying 2 things mix to make a third thing?
Yeah.
So you need to let the 2 things mix.
And you have to know the art how to mix. That's what I'm saying, molecular. You got to examine, experiment, discover, invent, break down, fail, where the molecules are, and then mix them. Then after that they are formed, the third solution is formed, then you cannot separate them anymore. You don't know where it is. Even the creator, even the writer won't know where it came from, even though I've written it.
And that's how you know that you have changed and grown.
Correct.
So তুমি তো বালিগঞ্জে বড় হয়েছো, right?
No, well, okay.
A big part of it has been, আমি যদি বালিগঞ্জটাকেই ধরি, তার আগে obviously you were somewhere else.
Calcutta 16.
হ্যাঁ, ক্যালকাটা 16 তো তোমার এই যে কলকাতাটাকে বদলাতে দেখা এবং তার সাথে নিজের মিউজিকটাকে বদলাতে দেখা, আমি এই প্রশ্নটা করতাম না তোমাকে। We were talking with Shombi. You have also gone through the pangs of a jazz player, in the sense that you might not be a jazz player in the প্রথাগত sense, কিন্তু তোমার জীবনের যে দুঃখগুলো, তোমার জীবনের যে the sense of loss is much like a jazz player. তো এই সব কিছু একসাথে নিয়ে তুমি তোমার বন্ধুদেরকে হারিয়েছো, তুমি তোমার নিজের সিবলিংকে হারিয়েছো, তুমি একটা কলকাতা, একটা শহরকে বদলাতে দেখেছো, এবং তারপরেও তোমার আউটলুক হ্যাজ বিন ভেরি অপটিমিস্টিক। এটা কি করে করো তুমি, এবং এটা নিয়ে আমাদেরকে একটু অ্যাডভাইস দাও, কারণ কি আমরা তো এইটুকু সময়তেই আমাদের মাথা খারাপ হয়ে যাচ্ছে।
You know what? I don't think I'm doing it. I'm just being. You know, there's a difference.
No, I don't. বল।
If you think about it too much, এটা হচ্ছে না, ওটা হচ্ছে না, it occurs to me, and I realize every day. Like when I came to this place from our house, you picked me up, and I saw 1,000 million things that shouldn't be happening.
Of course.
I realize it, but I shut it down. It behind me now, because I know that's what it is. Nothing, you can do nothing about it, but you still wish that it could change. But then you go beyond that, and you stay in your alley, that skinny alley, and you walk on that path. So as long as my office is opening in my bed with my guitar and my writing and everything,
there's always a reason to move
There's
forward.
Always a reason to have I've got the best life ever. I'm playing guitar every day.
Oh, yes.
For 10 hours. Now I'm not 10 hours, maybe 6 hours. Then I'm talking guitar another 2 hours. Then I'm having coffee and talking music with you. And I'm in the night, maybe I have a couple of beers and play music and fiddle with my instrument and write.
It's an amazing life. It is.
I mean, people spend lakhs and they still don't get it. And I get to travel, get paid, and you meet different people and get different food. And you get that joy, that orgasmic feeling when you play in front of crowd. What else?
Ar ki chai, exactly. Ar ki chai জীবন.
So you dwell on that world.
Wow. It's incredible. তুমি যেরকম ভাবে এত সোজা ভাবে জিনিসটাকে বোঝাচ্ছ। Happiness. সবাই না এখানে এসে সবাই. Everybody says you have to pursue for happiness. Do you think it's overrated? It's overhyped. Do you think happiness can actually be achieved? Or is it like a guitar pick that constantly gets lost and you have to?
It's very true. It's very true. Never use a pick that is matching the carpet. You know?
Picks up this weird thing or just chole jaye.
You know, I tell you a little funny story about Jayshree. She's my soulmate. Still wherever she is. And I used to drop my plectrum by mistake and she said, Jayshree, I used to say, Jayshree, I lost it. And she would have this prayer. She would say, Ganesh, I will get you married. It seems Ganesh never wanted to get married, the god of Ganesh. And so, if you don't find me the pick right now, I'll get you married. And the pick would come right now, you know. So all these little things, and that could be a little germ of a song.
It is. Oh wow, yeah, absolutely.
I don't believe in gods, but I'm taking the joke when she's mentioning a god. I'm enjoying it. I'm not double-standard, but I'm enjoying the art part of it.
Yeah, and this is also an association of happiness.
Yes.
And that's going to stay with you forever.
There you go.
So why will you not share it with somebody else?
There you go. And also, happiness is under question. What is happiness?
What is happiness? I mean,
I could be the happiest guy sitting on the bed, playing my guitar, and that time, for some magical reason, one funny butterfly will sit on my head, and I will play everything that I can possibly play. That morning is the happiest moment.
But happiness can also be you jamming with your band and making the saddest song in the world.
Absolutely.
Right.
That's what I'm saying. Happiness is what?
It's perspective based, right? It's
you could cry
and still be happy.
And the tears of joy.
You know what is really endearing? It's something I have not been able to stop smiling ever since you said it. You talked about Jayshree ma'am and you said Jayshree is.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think that's more than enough.
Yeah.
You did not say Jayshree was.
Right.
And a part of that is always with you.
Exactly.
Kono ekta jayagaয়.
Exactly.
And this just shows a certain kind of camaraderie that is happiness for me. This is the biggest takeaway for me from this interview. আমি আর সম্বিত কথা বলছিলাম and he said something really dark. And he said that, you know, Bubbla, আমি সম্বিতকে last 18 years ধরে চিনি. আমরা একসাথে মিউজিক করছি. And he said, you know, there's going to be one person who's going to see all of us fade away. And that person needs to have that amount of clarity for them to be able to process that and be able to live on. And তুমি এত সুন্দর করে জিনিসটাকে বোঝাচ্ছ এবং এমন ভাবে তুমি তোমার মধ্যে তোমার মিউজিক দিয়ে তোমার এক্সপেরিয়েন্সেস দিয়ে তোমার বন্ধু বান্ধবদেরকে নিজের কাছে রেখেছো যে I don't think they ever left you or they will ever leave you.
Exactly. See, I tell you a little story about Jayshree again. Like I said, no, I just naturally came out with Jayshree is or Gyan is or Kochu is.
Yes.
But the physical part, I remember the day where I first met. There used to be a club called AUC, the American Jazz Club in Calcutta, Chorangi and Park Street. Chorangi and
কত বছর আগে?
You know, 75 or 76 or so. And Calcutta had that, you know, in SN Banerjee Road and Chorangi crossing there. And there, I think Billy Taylor, one of the jazz greats, used to come and play there. And they're playing here, and you're sitting on the carpet and watching.
ঠিক যেরকম ভাবে আমরা স্কিনি আলিতে মাটিতে বসে দেখতাম.
Exactly, and no stage also. They were set up, and Chico Freeman and Woody Shaw and Wallace Roney, and I'm sitting here like this.
মানে কলকাতায়.
Yeah, and on SN Banerjee Road. Billy Taylor.
Wow.
Woody Shaw. I saw him. And there Jayshree had come, Gyan and Jayshree. And first time I met, And I remember Jayshree was wearing something yellow and she turned back and said, I heard you're playing good guitar. I said, no. Then she said, no smoke without fire. That's the first exchange of words I had. That was the beginning of our friendship, slowly. And then the last I saw was I was carrying her in that mud, putting her in the water, in the sea. So physically, I really literally saw the thing, and I actually floated her into the ocean, into the mud, where she went away. And then I was watching that little thing. That is Jayshree right in there. God knows where I'll see her again.
Well, I'm sure you will.
I hope so.
And she is with you, in the sense she's with you in the music that you're making, in these extensions, in these stories.
Yes, it goes. That's just the physical part. I'll miss it anyway. But the is came from the other aspects. In fact, she's the one, she made me, and about 20 years back, or maybe a little bit more, I thought of stopping, like teaching. I said, no more teaching, enough. And she just took me, she called me over, I said, give me coffee, I need to talk to you. And I would go, I mean, she would.
Jivone coffee ta khub.
Yeah, 4 o'clock, 4:30, coffee and chocolate cake is. See, these are little the beauties in life, man. If you sit in the sun on your shoulder, have a cup of coffee, have a smoke, watch the smoke going by, thoughts in your head,
everything's fine, right?
Fantastic. But you have to have the eye to enjoy the little pleasures of life. You can't say just a coffee, what? Then go die.
Then go die. Oh, so cool. How do you perceive love? Love তোমার কাছে কি? তুমি ভালোবেসেছো অনেক ভালোবাসো?
Yeah, I do.
তাহলে তোমার কাছে ভালোবাসাটা কি? তোমার গান আছে অনেক ভালোবাসা নিয়ে?
Not directly, like I love you, love me with words. But yeah, sure. But see, instrumental. Now, yeah. But it could be love with girlfriend, boyfriend love. It could be father, mother love. It could be parents love. It could be sibling love. It could be a flower love.
তুমি তো একটা এমন এরায় ভালোবাসার কথা বলছো যেখানে মানে in the 80s love was in the air.
Oh yeah.
কোনো একটা জায়গায়.
And us Shiva time, man, I mean, it was quite a rock and roll.
Yeah, but we've heard stories. We've heard stories, and
which we won't mention now.
Not at all. And I have heard stories from people like Shubhayunda, যারা তোমাকে ধরো তোমার প্রাইমে দেখেছে, এবং he's given me a very different picture of you.
Yeah.
So, and that's fine. But the fact is, তোমার এই মুহূর্তে দাঁড়িয়ে এখানে তুমি ভালোবাসাটাকে কি মানে হ্যাপিনেসের সাথে এক করো না আলাদা রাখো?
So it's love actually takes it all in, joy, love, happiness, emotional expression. They are all the same thing, because love in one word is a very large word.
Yeah, vishal word.
Yeah. Now, if you talk about love as in girlfriend, boyfriend love, that could be very sweet, and they could have fights. And because of the little fights, the cat fight they have, when they make up, that becomes sweeter. It's like a dominant chord resolving into a major 7 chord. You know what I mean? So that is one part of it. And you could also have a very adult kind of love. Eventually, see, it's friendship.
Yes.
Our parents, they live together I'm just saying, not my parents, because my dad passed away very early. We have parents, they live together 60 years together. So in the end, it's no physical relation. It's just a friendship.
It is. It is just being together.
Yeah, and that's love.
Wow.
Love takes a different color. In the beginning, it's sunlight and romance and roses. Then it becomes a little bit of a friends. Like, they fight and they differ and then they separate for a while, then come back. In the end, it's just pure friendship.
You have to take these moments to just... তুমি যেগুলো বলছো ওগুলোকে জাস্ট এত সোজা ভাবে বলছো তুমি, মানে I'm just very happy that we are here talking.
I'm telling you, people say no. Of course he'll say because he's old and he's experienced, but being experienced is going through time with awareness.
Yes, absolutely.
You got to be aware of what's happening around you and behind you, up there, down there.
Yeah.
You just lived your life for 70 years and sleeping, then you're not experienced. I tell my students that, how old are you? Someone said he or she, I'm 17 and I've been playing it only 2 years. And someone says, what do you know? I'm playing, I'm 45-year-old. Then I go and ask him or her, this 45-year-old character, how many gigs? 10 gigs. I've been playing guitar for a long time. But this boy, this 17-year-old boy, he's done about 55 gigs. So whose experience here?
Yes, experience also has different connotations to it.
Of course.
বেশি গিটার বাজাচ্ছি মানে এই না যে বেশি গিটার বাজাচ্ছি। Oof, nice.
So, there's always a question. And you have to have, every artist should have a million questions to ask.
Weirdly, তোমার মিউজিকটার থেকে completely diametrically, this is the happiest interview that I have conducted so far. এত optimism, এত কিছু শেখার তোমার থেকে। I have 3 questions.
Sure.
এবং last 3 questions হচ্ছে, there is something which is called the right music, right? তোমার অনুযায়ী it doesn't have to be agreed upon by somebody else. So এই যে ঠিক ধরনের মিউজিকটা to propel you in the right direction when you are starting off, that if you want to really build on originality without getting overwhelmed, তুমি 5টা আর্টিস্ট সিটি থেকে বা সিটির বাইরে কি শুনতে বলবে একটা মানুষকে?
5 is difficult.
3, 2,
Firstly, they should. It doesn't matter what instrument you play. It doesn't have to be your instrument. Just music in general. I would think listen to a lot of Indian classical music, whether it's Karnataka or North Indian.
এটা তো তুমি খুব ব্রড করে দিচ্ছ। তুমি যদি ইন্ডিয়ান ক্লাসিক্যাল
artists, Nikhil Banerjee.
Yeah.
Zakir Hussain, of course. Then anything at all from South India.
Anything at all from South India?
Yeah. Especially the percussion players.
মানে Shakti, would you recommend Shakti?
Yes, of course. Where John McLaughlin is, anything is. But I would not kill myself to listen to Shakti without John McLaughlin.
John McLaughlin is the
he's
spice.
He's the guy because he made this to me personally. Shakti sound the way it is because his harmonic verticality. Western African folk music.
একটু দুটো
band. King Sunny Ade. That kind of music, that kind of genre. Or you can just go to a YouTube and just pick up a village from Africa and just listen to it, that kind of thing. Brazilian music and a lot of jazz and European classical. I mean, practically everything I said.
কি করে মানে এবারে তুমি তিনটে আর্টিস্ট বলো?
Like I would think
like Miles is a good place.
Miles is a fantastic place.
To start or একটুখানি?
Well, first diet would be kind of Blue by Miles because that kind of tickles your jazzism in your body.
তুমি kind of Blue কথা বলছো?
Kind of Blue.
Yes.
That is a great film because it's got got simple heads so that it kind of sucks you in and then leaves you there and it sucks you in the genre.
Kind of Blue তে একটা Blue in Green বলে একটা গান আছে।
Of course.
যেটাই না সাদার্ন অ্যাভিনিউতে তুমি যদি একটা ট্যাক্সিতে বসে শোনো তোমার মনে হয় যে পুরোটা ব্ল্যাক এন্ড হোয়াইট হয়ে যাচ্ছে সিটিটা।
Absolutely. There you go. See, transform.
Exactly.
That's the energy. Coltrane, of course, Parker.
Coltrane কি 7 steps না or my favorite things.
My favorite things or there's an album, I don't know what the name is, the ballads of Coltrane. Just when he plays very very slow.
এবারে তুমি তো পার্কারে যখন যাচ্ছ মানে চার্লি পার্কার is a little too difficult, don't you think initially? What about a Louis Armstrong?
But why draw that line in the beginning is too difficult?
Because
let yourself go.
Okay, yes, yeah, okay, absolutely. Let yourself go.
There's no judgment. The moment you start judging, you are actually blocking yourself up.
What about rock?
Well, rock.
What rock bands do you love?
For me, rock is Richie Blackmore and Hendrix are my. Blackmore is like, come on. I mean, people when they call now, of course, younger generation, they start rock from Metallica and blah blah blah. But you got to listen to the real.
You never had the inclination to get into metal. You are a metalhead, kono jayega, jano to.
You know what? I can't play that good.
Amyt, please. তোমাকে উঠে চলে যেতে হবে এবারে আমাকে তুমি যদি এটা বলো।
But that needs a tremendous amount of physical facility, which I don't have.
এটা বাজে কথা।
I mean, not in that way.
You haven't explored it.
I somehow I appreciate it, but I never got into it.
I call you a metalhead just because তোমার outlook.
Yeah.
In the sense that metalheads are tremendously optimistic creatures. They're not the music that they play.
Yeah.
And you, in portions, are the music that you play and beyond it. So, এই জন্য I'm calling you a metalhead. এটার থেকে।
Yeah. No, but also, like I used to play Steve Vai and all before, like Paul Gilbert and all. I used to play that Eugene Strick Packable at a Steve Vai tune, instrumental where he plays that tune in the movie called Crossroads. I used to play that on a 21 fret guitar. And the last, I think the one note is there on the 22nd and he bends it up or something like that. I used to play that. Because that time I was doing a lot of physical practice, like sit down, brainlessly just physical muscular practice. But then slowly I started writing and I started understanding harmony and then try and stretch, other things and then put my own kind of twist to it. Then my physicality went a little bit sidetracked and then my more...
But your expression, your modes of expressions are very metal কিন্তু মানে তুমি ওরকম ভাবে ধাঁচে ফেলছো না, you're not making it a, but তুমি যদি একবার সম্বিতকে মেটাল বলো তোমার মিউজিকটা কিন্তু একটু মেটাল হয়ে যেতে পারে
of course
পিছনে, ঠিক আছে, you have a metal drummer at the back.
Yeah, but then you got to kind of draw a line because my music philosophically and sonically, I don't want it to go that side. Even though, see,
and that's a choice.
That's a choice.
Yeah.
You know what? I tell you what. The whole point of doing this electric album and the band is not anything. See, the tunes were recorded before. These tunes were recorded earlier. But I also knew for many years when I wrote them, these tunes also have a potential of playing like the step on the gas and play for it. Go for it like a. Like going to the gym kind of thing.
Ekdom.
So I selected this. You were asking me which kind of. That's why I asked. And Gogol also wanted to play. Later I heard that he had mentioned it to Jaiva that he wants to play with me in a set kind of band. And then after a while, I asked him, and then I knew his strengths,
his influences.
Yeah, his energy and his personality. So I said, yeah, go for it. But there is a line that you got to stop there. You got to get into the more of a jazz aggression than metal aggression.
Jazz aggression than metal aggression.
Yeah.
Oh. As a teacher, তো তোমার obviously একটা প্রচন্ড amount of gratification হয় তোমার স্টুডেন্টদেরকে দেখে, এবং এই মুহূর্তে মানে you must be really proud. Every single guitar player in the city is somewhere a product of AmytDatta.
I know.
But starting from my guitar player to Bodhida,
yes,
to, and there are people who are taking the mantle forward, right?
Yes.
So this is without any biases. I'm sure তুমি সবার নামটা বলতে মনে রাখতে পারবে না বা মনে করতে পারবে না এই মুহূর্তে। তো প্রথম কথা, কাউকে বাদ দেওয়া হচ্ছে না। 5 guitar players in the city that you should be listening to or following.
Adil, Bodhi, Orange Joy for sure. Taj is not in the city anymore.
But he is from the city.
Yeah, he's from the city. Taj for sure. Taj is he's got a great sense of musicality. He's not like a shredder or something.
No.
But he's got that aspect has.
But he's created such a beautiful lineup.
Yeah.
সুন্দর music বানাচ্ছে. And আরেকজন?
Only guitar players?
Only guitar players. ওটাতেই তো বেঁধে দেবো.
You're asking me tough questions.
Yes.
There's a young guy called Agnish Datta. He's also a doctor. Agnish, he's a student of mine also. You got to check him. This guy is very good. Fossils.
Alan,
of course. Yeah. He's not my student, but he is very, very, very good.
I'm sure he'll be very happy to hear this.
You know why? Because he plays to the song. A couple of times he came to my house to take a lesson or two. He and Neil Odikari. And this Alan only laughs when he... even at the gig when I was playing some years back, he's only laughing, I said, why are you laughing? He said, I don't get anything what you're doing.
It's hysterical.
And the sweetest part, the great part of it is just laughs him. And he's one guy we should all follow because he plays to the song. He doesn't, and guitar players have this grandstanding attitude. No, I'm a guitar player, check me out. And he plays to the song. Fantastic. Adil plays. He can play, man. I mean, of course, he can play. But I haven't heard too much of your music, the UA music. A couple of times, maybe live. He can play but he plays to the song.
Yes, he does. And he ensures that I do too.
Yeah. So that is musicality. Otherwise, you sound juvenile. You sound like a high school guy, man.
And that's such a reality, right?
Yeah.
Like you sound like a high school guy.
Yeah.
And I know the exact connotation of that word. You know, school vendor moton shonaচ্ছে. এটা আমরা constantly বলি. You know, lot মানে Oh, Amyt, thank you so much for doing this. Oh, এত ভালো লাগলো আমার। মানে আমার তো definitely. So, আমরা এখানেই শেষ করছি। তোমার জন্য একটা gift আছে Amyt.
Oh.
This is from Bongmade.
Oh, thank you so much.
তুমি এটা খুলে দেখো, please.
Thank you so much.
You can tear it up. Just destroy it. তুমি ওরম ভাবে খুলো না, তুমি just ছিঁড়ে ফেলো। ওরম ভাবে আর খুল। Wow.
Oh. Fantastic. There you go. Yeah.
This says made in Kolkata, which you are.
I'm a Kolkata. Yeah, absolutely.
And this has the Bengali অক্ষর গুলো।
Nice, lovely.
আর একটা ছোট্ট জিনিস, এইটা তোমার জন্য from Pico.
Okay. Pico. Thank you so much.
এরা খুব ভীষণ সুন্দর pour over sachets বানিয়েছে।
Okay.
So what they have done is they have cut out the whole idea of the pour over.
Okay.
যেটা একটা সিস্টেম লাগে।
Okay.
আর ওটা সুন্দর না, তোমার কফির মাগের মধ্যে এটা আটকে যাবে।
Okay.
তুমি এর উপরে জাস্ট গরম জল দেবে।
Yes.
ক্যাপসুলস না, এগুলো হচ্ছে sachets.
Sachets. Okay.
খুব সুন্দর করে when you open it তুমি দেখতে পারো।
Okay.
Your morning coffee for the next few days at least is sorted.
Fantastic. Great.